Hi Josh, how are you today?
Good. How are you, Megan?
Good, thank you. Do I have your permission to record this call?
Yes.
All right, excellent. So tell me about where you're currently working.
I'm currently a contract marketing consultant with Coldwell Banker Bain in downtown Bellevue, and I oversee just the daily marketing operations, primarily with online advertising and print.
Excellent. Walk me through a typical day at work for you. I know there may not be such a thing as a typical day, but from start to finish, kind of walk me through your day.
Okay, so typically I'll get into the office and I will see if any individual agent has a marketing request. That is, if it's email marketing or if it's a new ad coming up with a local magazine. And I'll go through and find out what they want, maybe talk to them about the property, get kind of put myself in their place so I know how to market it to the public. If there's none of that, I'll go through with our long-term projects. We have quarterly market reports for the area. So we report a luxury report twice a year and also an east side report. So that's the east side of the Seattle area because we're primarily located in Bellevue. So the luxury report spans out over all of the Seattle area, and the east side primarily focuses on Bellevue and the smaller cities. So I'll do work on that for the future, as well as office marketing. So if it's recruiting or if it's doing a larger ad for some of our top brokers to go into Seattle Magazine or 425 Magazine. But that's typically a normal day. But there's always individual tasks for photoshopping or doing a graphic design for a specific ad coming up or a marketing campaign. But like you said, there is really no normal day when it comes to kind of our field.
Absolutely. How many agents are in that office?
We try to stay right around 150. Sometimes we go a little above, sometimes a little bit below.
Okay, excellent. Can you explain to me a little bit more about what information you include in the quarterly reports that you do?
Yeah, so we'll report on the comparison of units sold and also price point. And then we'll really recap kind of the way the market is headed. So the way interest rates are going, the way how long homes are on the market, average days on the market. And then we'll go into, for the East Side report, we report on condos. For the luxury report, we'll only report on a condo if it was like a big sale in a high-rise downtown Bellevue or Seattle. So, and then we'll go a little bit into kind of the way our office is performing against the other offices. We are number one, so we have 12 of the top agents in Washington. So typically we'll kind of compare the numbers against other growing offices in the area.
Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. So just walk me through this process. An agent comes to you and says, hey, I have a new listing. Where exactly do you take it from there?
So an agent will usually email me or come into my office and ask if I have the availability to put together a just sold, a just listed, maybe an open house marketing campaign to send out to their sphere. So I'll get the high-res photos from them. I'll get the remarks. I'll get any kind of information that pops out that we want to highlight. If it's like an acre of waterfront, or it's the penthouse of condominiums. And then I'll sit down with them and kind of have a one-on-one on how we want to target it to their sphere. Do we want to just make it like a product emailer, or do we want to tie in maybe about the neighborhoods, or do we want to tie in with another listing that's in the area that's coming on soon, or vice versa? So really I'll go on there, we'll queue up their database, add any new contacts that they've acquired over the last month, and then we'll either schedule it for the end of the week if it's the beginning of the week, or we'll send it out right then and there.
Okay, very cool. And then you also work as a photographer and cinematographer?
Yeah. So do you want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'd love you to.
For the last 5 years, I always have been interested in kind of that side of things as far as doing photography and film. I grew up really wanting to be a director or an actor or something, but when I got into business school, I kind of found my niche and just like being behind the camera instead of in front of it. So I started doing a lot of sports photography in the beginning, and then when I got out of school and started working in a real estate office, they asked, "Oh, you do photography?" And so I started actually going out with the agents and taking some pictures of their listings before I actually marketed myself as a real estate photographer. So that grew, and then I started getting a small team together because I was getting a little bit spread thin working in a real estate office and doing that on the side. So right now we have myself and two other photographers that I usually work with depending on my workload. And we'll go out and do aerial photography, interior photography, exterior photography, neighborhoods, agent portraits, and also video as well. So I have two different camera setups, and I'll do agent testimonies, I'll do client testimonies, and interior and exterior like real estate tours or lifestyle videos as well. So typically the tours, your average, let's see the layout of the house, everything. Lifestyle is more for the luxury high-end property. You get some good close-ups. You kind of tie in with the area as well as like the important features of the home.
Mm-hmm. Can you speak a little bit more to how your marketing tactics differ a little bit when you are working with a luxury property?
So the luxury property, is way more than just coming into the house and seeing the layout of the living room and the kitchen. Really, with a luxury property, I try to, if the owner is available, sometimes I'll work with the agent to get kind of like, how do you feel in this house? I mean, you live here, you see when the sun comes up and if it hits a certain part of the house, or how it feels in the fall and winter. So we try to grab a lot of the emotion from the house to, deliver a really strong marketing campaign for the house, and that a lot of times involves video. So depending on how comfortable the owner is, sometimes we'll even feed in a little bit of testimony, maybe have them sit down. If it's a really nice living room with a fireplace, we'll have them sit in front of it, get a really nice cinematic shot, and we'll tie that in to the video tour. And so aerial, depending on the property, a lot of our luxury properties up in Seattle are typically on the water or have a lot of acreage. So aerial is a must. I always involve, drone photography and video when it comes to a luxury property. And it's more than just bringing the camera into the house. I'll have a 2-camera setup where I'll highlight some features, maybe if it's, walking into like grand pillars in the front of the house, or it's the super luxury chef's kitchen with, like granite marble. But that's kind of we want, the consumer to feel like they're not getting advertised to when they see it. We want them to feel like, wow, this is a no-brainer. This is bringing a different emotion when it comes to this property. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Very cool.
Yeah.
Tell me about your multimedia manager position with Sotheby's. That was your first position out of school?
Yeah. So actually, it was actually during school is when I started working with them. I was referred to him by a friend of mine, and she knew I did photography and video. So she also knew I was really tech savvy, just because I was getting a minor in computer science at the time, and she'd call me for anything that was tech related that she couldn't figure out. So when Sotheby's started up, they needed someone to kind of get it off the ground, not only technology wise, but kind of have an idea and a good like overall vision on how the marketing department's going to grow. So I started working there, developing listing presentations, buyer and seller presentations, and everything that really kind of had to do with content creation, because they were a new franchise in a town called Redmond. That's just a little bit of east of Bellevue, and then they were opening another office in Woodinville thereafter. So this was kind of going to be the just like the bare bones of how the rest of their offices were going to look like. So it was definitely a intimidating role in the beginning, being a student at the time. So it took a lot of dedication and some trial and error to work with the owners to get a really good process going. Because it grew from, I think it was 10 agents that they recruited before the office had opened, and when I left, it was over 115. So they had 3 offices by the time I left. So it was hiring and finding the right position for a couple of the members that started. So we hired 3 to 4 different media and marketing associates at that time, and it was training them on how to deal with agents, how to deal, in a real estate environment, and then that turned into really working with the owners, kind of overseeing all 3 offices when I left.
Okay, perfect. And you worked at Sotheby's for about a year.
Yeah, a little over a year. And it was really an evolving role, because what I started doing and when I left, it was completely different. So it was really fun and, an exciting job to see the growth of the company.
Mm-hmm, definitely. What made you want to seek new opportunity from Sotheby's?
Well, it was actually, I was being recruited by Coldwell Banker at 3 different occasions. One was pretty early on in Sotheby's, after we started rolling out a lot of marketing, because we were recruiting agents like crazy, and that meant recruiting a lot of big players that was actually at the Coldwell Banker office. So they saw a lot of our marketing coming into their inbox, and also mail. And then the second and third time I was recruited, I really saw the office taking off and kind of going a direction that I didn't really want to go. It was the Sotheby's at the time were in a big rivals with 2 other Sotheby's offices in the city, and there was just some things I wasn't, really comfortable with doing. So about the third time they recruited me, it was a good time to leave.
Mm-hmm. Okay, definitely. And now at this point, you've been with Coldwell Banker also for about a year. What are you seeking in a new position that Coldwell Banker isn't offering you?
Coldwell Banker, I am a marketing consultant. So there are some things that being an employee versus a consultant kind of, is different, because a lot of, coming in, in every day and working with the agents as a consultant, sometimes you're not taken as seriously as if you were a key member of the company there. And so moving to a different area, that's what made me seek out kind of a stronger role in a real estate company, having more influence. That's kind of what it boils down to.
Okay, excellent. So along those same lines, what would your ideal job be then?
My ideal job would have a strong influence in the marketing department, and being able to oversee a lot of the content that's being created, and interacting with the individual agents to pretty much roll out strong marketing campaigns, and also media, and then kind of being a key player in the way the company's advertised.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Now, I'm assuming the agents that come to you with marketing, are they paying out of pocket for marketing?
They're not.
Okay,
No.
The company's paying for that? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever make recommendations about where they should spend their marketing dollars?
Sometimes, yeah, when it comes to certain ads and where they're spending their money, a lot of the times putting something out there isn't worth doing if it's not going to be a higher level of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
I tell agents a lot of the times, having something not out there than having something that's bad out there is better, because once you market, you're showing the public who you are, and it's really a representation of how your business is like. So if you're last minute running in saying, I just want to get something in the 425 magazine, and it's not your standard marketing, that's going to be out there, and that's going to be sitting in an area, or it could be sitting in a Starbucks, and they could open it up and be like, oh, that's who so and so is.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I try to make sure they're prepared, and they have they're advertising in the right areas. So if that's Lux Magazine, if it's for a certain high level property, or if it's online with 425 magazine. So yeah.
Okay.
To answer your question, long.
Good. As far as fostering a brand, when you're working with Coldwell Banker, for example, are you responsible for fostering a certain Coldwell Banker brand, or do you help the agents kind of brand themselves?
So both. I help foster the Coldwell Banker Bellevue branch. So everybody who is an agent and has been well established in the area for a while knows the Coldwell Banker Bellevue branch. So I was brought in to redesign that brand. They were a little bit outdated because they've been around the longest in this area, and so my job was to really refresh that brand, really make it modern. So, and that was taking anything from their buyer and seller books and doing a whole makeover, even to kind of like the letterheads, and the type of stuff they're printing out their CMAs on. So, the last year and a half, I've helped we call it the Bellevue Way branch, because there is another Bellevue branch, but it was really the Bellevue Way brand that we were trying to freshen up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. Now, I know you live in Seattle now. What are your plans for relocating?
So my plan right now, we are looking within 5 miles of Santa Monica. So I've been on Zillow and Craigslist the last week trying to find the very slim pickings in that area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, right now it's kind of difficult because it's like really low inventory.
Right, but you do definitely have plans.
Yes, yeah. So
Perfect.
our plans are to be down there within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself, if we were to fast forward 3 years into the future, where do you see yourself at that point within the industry?
I see myself, well established at a company down in the California, and if that's Santa Monica, or if that's a little bit north or south, I'd be fine with that. And I see myself really taking a business or a real estate office to the next level in marketing and media.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I want to be in 3 years. Have my both feet on the ground, and trying to make my way up in a company, or just taking that company and making it great.
Okay, absolutely. And what was it specifically about this position in Santa Monica that you found really interesting?
I really found my job duties now to translate really well with the job description, and I've had a lot of experience with a luxury brand and Sotheby's and Coldwell Banker Previews brand as well. I'm a pretty organized person, so seeing the position needing someone organized and willing to come in every day with a smile on their face, with regardless of what happened yesterday or what's going on, and it really appealed to me with all the different job duties, because I love digital marketing, I love print marketing as well, and so it really related to what I was doing now, and I felt like I could help take it to the next level, or really capitalize on kind of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. All right, Josh, before we wrap up, I just want to give you the chance to summarize your skills and experience and tell me why you think you are the perfect candidate for this position.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm the perfect candidate because, I've had a background in marketing and media for the last 5 years, and I really take passion in all my work that I do, and I feel like I could, come into this role and really thrive in the company because I'm a team player. I'm, really dedicated to what I do, and I feel like I would fit right in with the way this company looks and feels. And, I'm excited to really take everything that they're doing and, making it above and beyond on, what's going on in the area.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much.
Thank you.